How y'all doing today? Let's get into the mess of the mess of the mess. And we got the Diddy verdict that came in today. If you ain't seen the short clip, you will know a little bit more. You can go check it out. Like, share, subscribe on there. But now let's get into the mess of the mess. So we got the verdict and we got celebrities that came out to give a little 1-2 on the mess of this verdict. And baby, I said these some messy celebrities. It's like y'all ain't been talking about nothing since this whole thing been going on for the past couple. He been in jail for the last 9 months. And y'all ain't said a thing about this man other than Stevie J. Stevie J been the only one out here riding down for his boo. Him and Kanye. Kanye and Stevie been the only two riding for their boo. Non-stop, right? Other than his kids, you know that's a given. We ain't included them. We including the friends today. But I said y'all out here doing nothing. But now all of a sudden, because the conviction that came in, and it looks like he only may be getting about. So apparently, we're gonna get into that in a minute. I'm just doing a little rambling. But I said, let's get down to the best of the best. So the verdict came in where Diddy, oh, come on, I ain't got time for that, where Diddy was actually convicted of, there was 5 counts. You know, the jury was having little issues prior to this conviction. They were actually, going over the evidence for the last 2 days. Monday, Tuesday. By Tuesday, sometime in the early afternoon or something like that, they ended up deciding that they couldn't decide on one of the fifth charges. Excuse me. They couldn't decide what they were going to do. So they sent a little note to the judge saying that they didn't decided 4 out of 5. So the judge said, you stay in there and y'all redo it. So at by the end of the day of day 2, the judge said they tired and they need to go home and refresh, and they'll come back the next morning. So they came back Wednesday today morning, came back refreshed, and came back with a little 1-2 for us. And a few hours later, we was hit with the verdict about my time. It was about 10:30 around that time, almost close to 11, when the verdict came out to everybody, where the jury went back into the courtroom, and we were told, what was the tea? The tea was the RICO case. The RICO, he wasn't charged on. The first count for trafficking, he wasn't charged on. I'm like, what? How he wasn't charged on that? But check this out. He was charged on the first account of transporting Cassie for prostitution. Now you figure that out. We ain't done yet. We ain't done quite yet. Then the next one was next one was up for SXA trafficking number 2. This one, he was found not guilty. I said now, he got the first count of transporting for prostitution. Y'all found guilty. Everybody was, all 12 jurors in agreement for that one. So come on, let's get to last count, number 5. Transportation of John Jane Doe. Guilty. For prostitution. I said, what? Hold up. Now you didn't got him guilty of 2 counts of transporting for prostitution. And they were transported across state lines to different locations. From Los Angeles, Miami, New York. So I'm a little confused here. So you don't see no SA trafficking going on nowhere in the vicinity, but you felt like he was guilty of transporting for prostitution. I don't get that. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But his 12 jurors, his peers, that's what they agreed on. So after all that, his family and stuff, they're excited and, a little shocked, but they're excited that, it ain't the Rico case. They probably excited it ain't the SA trafficking because them two alone, he's done. But he's done either way. Cause it's gonna be a long time before he's back on the scene being. He gonna have a new name. We already know he finna change his name once again to whatever it's gonna be. But it's gonna be something that you gotta call him. Whatever it's gonna be. And we know that. So apparently, uh oh shoot, I am so I got caught up in my little scat. So okay. So apparently this is next up. So he got his sentences. He being sentenced in October, sometime early October is what they saying, about October 3rd, of this year. And his attorneys is asking for him to be early released. And come to find out, prosecutors want him to do 51 months in prison. That is what they want him to do. They want to do 51 months in prison. And so we'll see how this gonna go. We're gonna see how this gonna go. So he gonna already get time served for the 9 months. Well, they said 10. They said about 10. He been in there 10 months. For the 10 months he had been in already. So it's like he gonna have to do 41 months in jail, in prison. Long as he do long as he do all 41 months and pay restitution, at least pay something. Because I said this and bull. Because I'm still mad at these people. Because I said this don't make sense. I said I'm gonna get into that later. I'm gonna give my little rant about it in a few minutes. But let's get through that. So that's what's going on. So we end up finding out that the judge ended up. Okay, we ain't gonna talk. Okay, that's at the end. I'm skipping ahead, but let's move on to the next thing that we got up about this whole thing. So let's get into the celebrities that wanted to get their little 1-2. They want to speak up and come out of the sewers, the background noise, the bushes, the trash cans. Here they go, and we got Funk Flex, bald headed, want to come out and give his 1-2 about the situation. And he said that he don't believe that Cassie was a victim. He thinks she was a willing participant. I said, sir, wait till your dark secrets and the stuff that you have done come out. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear none of the stuff, the scandals that are about to come out about you and what you have done in the industry and the people you have hurted and abused, allegedly. I don't want to hear nothing out of your mouth. Because I said to not believe a victim and not believe that what she went through, and you talking about, oh, you was young then and everything. I'm paraphrasing. You was young, but you're not teaching other young folks to not go through that. What do you mean? We see the footage of her, how he kicked her in a hotel. Like that trauma right there, that right there told me that it's gonna be years before this woman actually gets to rebuild herself to the point where she can actually be a speaker for domestic violence. You have to get over that, over what you have been through. Not just the physical pain, but it's the emotional pain. That emotional pain and all that, she's still dealing with that. I'm part of moving on with her life. She didn't got married, met the man in her life, got kids. She's still processing, still going through it. But I said, you pathetic. So let's move on past that. No good. Let's move on to the next. Oh God. So we get into Miss Tiny, no good, Harris. So this heifers get her narrow self. I said Tiny could have sat down and shut it up. I know you got to do something with Ti. You got to be bobbing and weaving somewhere, girl. You you need to be doing something. You need to be doing some work. You need to be out here with your so-called escape group. The three members you got left that y'all can't sing. Because you're missing a member. You sound terrible. You need to be out there trying to make some more money. Coming out saying like, uh, saying people won't. What was it? Oh yeah, she said, people being you for being a freak and whatever. Girl, bye. You being accused of stuff for being a freak. I said, girl, the stuff that your so-called friend accused you and your husband of, for you speaking out on this makes me question if it was true. If there are some dark secrets that you and your husband really hiding. Do the feds need to come over to your house and start dipping into y'all situation more deeper? Because that's what it seemed like. Because Kim Porter's best friend ended up coming out after the verdict and giving, she gave a little nice speech. She said, the verdict is what it is, but God is the final. I'm just paraphrasing. She said, God is the final person to actually make this decision on how the outcome will be. If God wanted this to be like this, so be it, but she was, he was found guilty of something instead of nothing. It's sad. That's it. It's just sad that, oh, I'm not surprised a woman would come out. Definitely her. I'm not surprised she would come out and say anything because that's Tiny. Tiny, what Tiny gonna do better than be Tiny? But let's move on to the next, y'all. Let's get into my hard girl, Miss Luann. Miss Luann. I said the comedian. I love her to death. So she gave a loving speech, little note about ladies. She's ladies need to be more safer because they don't care. The justice system, everything. No, but they don't care what happened to the victims. They don't care what happened to women. Like men are allowed to do whatever they want to do, and women are not protected out here. And it seemed like they're not. It seemed like they're not protected. They can't be no justice for what's been done to Cassie, what's been done to John Doe, and he is not found guilty of as trafficking because that's what he did. He did that literally, but you found him guilty of transporting for prostitution, which makes no sense at all. You can't transport somebody for prostitution if they not gonna do the do, because they did the do in different locations. so I'm confused with it don't make no sense. But it's what it is. That I hope women get the courage when they can get out of certain situations, abusive situations like this, that they can get the courage to actually file the charges that immediately. I know it's hard and I know it takes time and stuff, but if this type of situation can happen with a person as powerful as Diddy is, and him not to be charged for what he truly did. And I said the crazy thing about it is like these 12 jurors actually seen the footage of the frequencies. So you think Cass, you think John Doe getting their backs, getting all of them toe up from the floor up, and you still say, oh, there was no SA trafficking. Make it make sense. But they gonna do what they gonna do. But that's Luann gave a heartful speech. and stuff. And it's what it is. But let's move on, y'all. So let's get into this. Now the ending of this all for me was the judge denied Diddy early release from custody. Diddy, the judge said, you ain't going nowhere. He said, please, you stay in there. You got to October. It's July, August, September. You can stay in there. You got enough time. You can stay in there. You ain't missing nothing. But his team plans to appeal. The judge denied it. I said, let him stay in there. All he gonna do is he trying to rebuild, clean his image up. I said, don't nobody care about you other than Funk, Funk Flex, Tiny, Stevie J, and Kanye that I know of. Them the only ones. But you gonna do what you do, and hopefully the judge stick to his guns and don't, and hopefully prosecutors stick to theirs. We'll find out later on, coming up. But that's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's your boy Paul. So like, share, subscribe, and join the channel, y'all. To this, I said I don't understand what's going on with these people. That jury, I don't know what they were smoking, because they had to be smoking some good reefer. They had to go home and get towed up and come back and still only voted for two things, found guilty of, and it don't make sense. It don't. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But if you got any comments about it, tell me how y'all feel about this verdict. Tell me how y'all feel about these celebrities that are now coming out of nowhere to be on his side all of a sudden, and it's been 10 months. Yeah. Let me know. Other than the ones that was Stevie and Kanye, the only two that's been riding it down with this man. But the rest of them have been coming out who for him. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. But that's all I got for y'all. This sun is all in my face this whole video. Oh God. But y'all have a nice day. Bye y'all. Let me see what's going on. Let's see in the chat. Ain't nothing up there. But y'all have a good day. Bye.